It's Manscaped Mouth Experience Monday. Dude, Tyler, and Brett do another blind from Mouth Experience Monday, and this time it's the hard-to-find Elmer T. Lee. Find out what we thought on this episode of the Bourbon Hunters. Have you thought about supporting our podcast? Head on over to our website at www.bourbonhunters.com where you can, by picking up one of our Kinsey drams or ordering from our partners over at manscaped.com. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to another episode of Mouth Experience Monday, brought to you by Manscaped. I am Dude Pool. I'm joined by
Tyler Shea
and
Brad Bryan.
And we've got the original gang back together again. So it's been a while. But yeah, so we're going back to the blind format after last week's head-to-head. And so I have procured a blind for the fellas to go through. And we're not going to know what it is. We're just going to give our unbiased opinion on it. And then I will do a reveal after everyone rates it with some hints and things like that. But before we get started, fellas, do you want your grooming routine to be a one-and-done deal? Well, the days of using the same trimmer for your face and your private parts are over thanks to our friends at Manscaped. They've come up with the ultimate package to keep your hairs trimmed from 12 to 6. Introducing the Beard and Balls Bundle featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger, a trimmer for the moneymaker and another for the boys downstairs. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Bourbon Hunters at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Bourbon Hunters at manscaped.com. For premium grooming experience, trust Manscaped. All right, guys.
I'm ready to get my sniffer going.
Yeah, here we go. We got 3 poured out there. I've got the bigger one for myself, because I know you guys have to drive.
I do.
I'll get yours, Tyler. Don't move. Don't move.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So let's jump right into the nose. What do you guys think on this nose?
I like the nose. Maybe it's because it's the first thing I've smelled in a while.
Yeah. I smelled it on my hand earlier when I spilled just a little bit of it. So I got a little excited thinking about having some bourbon tonight.
Very vanilla for me. More vanilla than caramel.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Maybe a peach? Not a peach, a pear is what I meant to say.
I could eat a peach for hours.
Face off?
Yeah, good job. Nice.
Take his face off.
Oh, man, yeah. So I get the vanilla, maybe a little bit of caramel. I get some fruit there in the background, some fruitiness.
I'm not getting the fruit. I'm not really getting, like, graham cracker-ish, but I'm getting more...
some sort of desserty type vibe.
Yeah. Almost like a French vanilla.
Ooh,
French vanilla's good.
Vanilla.
That's good.
I don't know if I smell that, but I like it. French vanilla. Good.
Like that type of, like, intense flavor of, like...
Almost like a vanilla extract type of, like, strength of the odorifer.
Man, I work with a lady that puts coffee in her French vanilla creamer, basically, is how she drinks it. It's disgusting.
That is. So that's pretty funny. But there are times when, like, I accidentally get heavy-handed when I'm pouring my cream.
Yeah.
And you can just tell by looking at it how white it is. And you're like, oh, God. So you almost want to make, like, another half a cup of coffee.
Right,
just to
pour that one out a little.
All right.
I might dive into this. It looks a little light in color.
Yeah, I mean, remember, we're doing non-barrel proof stuff on these, so it's going to be a little lighter than your barrel proof stuff.
Too,
yeah, but usually, unless it's like super old, it's going to be a little lighter than our, barrel proof stuff. All right, I'm going to go into, but I will say it looks viscous just on the glass, but I haven't tasted it yet.
This reminds me of like a 4-year bottled and bond of some sort.
First drink of the day for me, so this is a little going to have to get past that first initial visceral reaction, but I wouldn't say it's like super viscous, but it's not thin either. It's just this is what I would expect somewhere in that 90 to 100 range to feel like in the mouth,
You said for these you're typically not doing like a barrel proof, correct?
Right. I just said that like 10 seconds ago.
But
Something that's like a shelfer that's
not to say that we won't
easier
ever.
to find.
Yeah.
But like for instance, Old Granddad 114. That's a
Yeah,
shelfer.
that would be something we would do.
Okay.
And I think initially we would probably recognize that immediately that it's a higher proof.
Yeah.
Maybe not what it is.
So you're not specifically choosing them for low proof.
No, I'm choosing things that are either not all of these things, but either easily accessible, so like shelfers.
And we did a Maker's 101. Right?
We did a Maker's 101, yeah,
Okay.
which is now more accessible, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a shelfer.
That one was at your house, I believe, out on the patio. But it has become a shelfer. And then, or things that are just out there that people maybe have never had before. I want these to be as relatable as possible, but every once in a while, I'm going to sprinkle in something that's a little tougher to get that maybe people have never had.
Yeah.
So that's my thinking. So I'm going to dive back in for a second sip just to, now that I'm past that visceral
It was
reaction.
a little thin on the mouth for me, the second one, the experience.
The second drink, you mean?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I just did the same, and I feel that's probably
A
right.
little thin, yeah.
But, and here's the thing. So I don't drink a lot of stuff now. 100 proof is usually about the lowest I go on something that I enjoy in the evening. So I feel like just that alone, you're going to have a little bit more viscosity and a little bit more of the mouthfeel that we're looking for. So I think since we started doing these Mouth Experience Mondays, I've gotten back in touch with these things that are more, I think, I don't want to say the average drinker probably drinks.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I know the people that are really into bourbon right now are really gravitating towards the, barrel proofs and barrel strength and stuff like that. So, but I don't know that everyone does that. I think that's probably just maybe 25% of the bourbon enthusiasts out there, maybe. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people still are really trying to find those flavors in a bourbon, Greg Metz, he said he'd proof it down to 40.
Yeah.
So he could really taste the impurities and stuff like that. I know when he's drinking in the evening, he doesn't do that, but when he's tasting, on the job, that's what he would do. So I wouldn't be surprised if some people like that lower proof to just kind of see what kind of product it really is. Like, I don't think my palate's that good that I could taste impurities. Maybe down at 40 proof, maybe, I don't know, but I don't know what I'd be looking for either.
Yeah, I would say maybe certain like tannins or things that just come off harsh.
And that could be all they look for, maybe like a sulfur or something, or who knows. I don't know what. I mean, I'm sure they're trained on it, so they know what they're looking for, but I don't know.
I'm sure once someone said, "This is a sulfury taste that means X, Y, and Z, and this is what you look for." You taste it. The next time you'd be like, "There it is."
Yeah, it's cataloged and you recognize it now. Yeah. No, you're right. I'm sure. But what do you guys? That being said, it's a little thin. I agree. But what do you think about the flavor?
It really lasts a long time on the tongue.
Yeah, I thought so too. Which is surprising for how viscous it isn't. Yeah,
especially drink like 3-4.
Yeah,
it's really there.
But it's a good flavor, I think.
Yep.
Kind of lingers in my mouth a little bit, the flavor. And
sure.
Maybe aroma is a better word than flavor, just because I feel like it's...
Like the vapors.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
As it's kind of maybe evaporating in your mouth or something. Like, I think that's probably what I would...
This has an after finish almost of like Teddy Grahams, which are a slightly different taste than graham crackers.
Yeah. So the regular Teddy Grahams, not the cinnamon or anything. Just regular Teddy Grahams.
A little less bready and a little bit more on the sweetness side.
A little more dense.
Honeyer. Yeah.
They're like the Annie's bunnies.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are good.
They are. No, I like that. That's not bad because I think I am getting a little bit of honey. I think I am getting some honey in there.
I would agree with that.
And I would have never picked it out had you not said that. All right, what do you guys think on the finish? You said it's a decent lingering finish, but it's mainly on the tongue, right? Not the back of the tongue, the finish, Tyler?
I think it lingers in like the back 2/3, but it's not like
not like in
down.
the throat. Yeah,
yes.
that's what I mean. Okay, which is I
Maybe
enjoy
it's the
that.
middle, actually. maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get anything on the back of my tongue.
Yeah.
It's all towards the front.
Yeah, middle. I like that. It reminds me of when we went to Heaven Hill that one time, and the lady said you get the second drink for
yeah.
free because that vapor, you're kind of breathing it in. It's that. What did she call it? The dragon's breath, or she called it something. I know there's the Kentucky Hug, which is your throat, but she's
Right.
like, if you breathe it in and then just hold it and then exhale it, you get that extra.
I definitely get a big like honey gram.
I was gonna say I get a lot more honey too.
Honey,
I do.
honey.
Is it honey
Like-
barrel?
No, not graham
No,
crackers. What
Honey
did I
Nut
say?
Cheerios.
No, honey.
Teddy
actually,
Grahams?
Teddy Grahams. Yeah, I definitely get it the more I have it.
Yeah, the honey is definitely growing the
Same.
more and more I have it, which I feel like honey is kind of a more subtle flavor anyway. So that kind of makes sense to me that it's taken me a few sips to get that to pop out. All right, what do you guys? What would you rate this?
It's a 3 for me.
Just a straight up 3.
Just a straight up 3. It's not terrible. It's not.
What do you remember? What your highest rated we've done has been?
On this Mouth Monday and a Mouth Experience, whatever. I feel like I've had higher than 3.
I'm just wondering.
I do.
I know you had a couple that were in the 2s.
Yeah.
And your little caveat is that generally your higher rated stuff is higher proof, right?
And
a more viscous and buttery type of feeling.
And the only caveat to that I would say is that things that have a lower barrel entry, so like Peerless. Peerless has that low barrel entry proof.
Michter's, Peerless.
Yes. And so those I tend to, so if you pulled out like just a regular,
I think Maker's also has a lower entry point.
Peerless, I would probably rate it higher in a blind, I think, just
Yeah.
because of.
And well, all
that-
of Peerless's stuff is all barrel proof too, which makes it,
Yeah.
already I feel like
Right.
going to be a little more viscous.
So
you're a straight up 3.
Yeah.
I know your Joseph Magnus review was lower. I think you had one 2 weeks ago that was in the 2s as well. I don't remember what we did, but
I must just be in a negative mindset right now.
No,
I don't
I'm gonna
know.
go.
I think we're all in a barrel proof mindset.
And that's probably it.
So I'm gonna go a 3.6.
Oh, wow.
I do like it. I actually, it proofs down the more you have it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I also think the more that it does, the more that the flavor shines.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I would say 3.5.
Yeah. And I also, this is not very complex. It's not very viscous, but
it's good bourbon
it's
flavors.
really it's like the few flavors that shine, they're very good.
Yeah, they're the flavors you go after bourbon for, in my
Yes.
opinion.
It's growing on me. I feel like this is more.
But it's not complex. Like it's not like
No, it's
there's
not.
a lot going on
Yeah.
It's not.
here.
But what is there is really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would agree.
I
with
agree.
that.
Yeah.
It's like a
Three-
good.
three
It's like a
five for
good.
me.
It's like a good blends once
Okay.
in a while. Like when you.
All right.
When you.
Yeah, no, I know
now
what
I
you mean.
I
No,
feel
I know
about
what
it
you mean.
again.
when you
Three,
get it, you're
jeez.
like, "Fuck, that's really good."
I know
But I
what
also
you mean.
think, like, to me, when I first had my first 1 or 2 sips, it drank like a 105.
Okay. All right.
The honey is growing on me a lot too.
Yeah.
We'll go
All
3-2.
right, go ahead.
I'll give it a little boost. 3-2.
All right. So this is a bourbon that was created as a basically as a. Let me think of the wording for this.
Super prepared.
No, I've got information, but basically this was created as a nod to somebody,
Okay.
and
Oh.
that somebody was born in 1919 in Peaks Mill, Kentucky.
Is this Remus?
No,
Oh.
Remus was probably a little bit older by then because he was a Prohibition bootlegger. So.
Oh, okay. Not Remus.
This person went to World War II, but he first enrolled in Lexington at University of Kentucky, and then he withdrew so that he could volunteer for the Army during World War II.
Props to him.
He served as a radar bombardier in a B-29 bomber based in Guam. When he finished, he went back to university to get his degree and began working at a distillery as a maintenance engineer. Okay. So, he was promoted to plant superintendent in 1966 and to plant manager in 1969, and then given the title master distiller in the early 1980s.
Damn.
Now, being given the title of master distiller, it is said by a lot of people that he didn't actually do any distilling. He was just more of a great plant manager, a good barrel picker type of person.
That was the 80s when bourbon was dying too.
Last hint, he is the person that most say are responsible for coming up with the idea for Blanton's?
Fuck. Stag.
This is 90 proof.
No, okay.
That explains some of, I think.
This is Elmer T. Lee.
Is it really?
Yeah. Elmer T. Lee, 90
So
proof.
it's definitely.
And I gave it a 3.
Shelfer.
It's not so this isn't technically a shelfer that it's available easily,
Yeah.
but
I
this
don't
is
know
just
how
something
that
that but that's all right. So yeah, I just figured I'd throw out something that
No.
was a little
That
different
makes a
than
ton of sense.
I appreciate
in the
you
sense
sharing that.
like a lot of people say
Blanton's.
but also a lot of people say that it's good bourbon, but not worth the secondary.
well, I mean, it's a
that
$50
makes
or $59 bottle of bourbon or something
It's
like that.
worth $59.
Yes.
Yeah,
would
I
tell
think
you
it's
that.
$50. I think it's $49.99.
And what proof?
90.
Yeah.
Now they did a commemorative 100 proof at one point. I think it was recently, actually. I think it was 2019, maybe, when he would have turned 100 years old.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but there was a 100th, and that would make sense. 100 proof, 100 years old, that type of thing. I think it was 2019. So there is a 100 proof version of Elmer T. Lee out there, commemorative edition, but it's generally 90 proof. So
Okay.
we are right at the 15-minute mark. So we're going to sign off. But thanks for joining in for another Mouth Experience Monday. Hopefully you enjoyed our, I guess, review, if you will, of Elmer T. Lee. We did it blind, and the guys were kind of surprised there. So
Yeah, very much so.
a little bit of factual knowledge about the guy who they named it after, too. So join us in on Wednesday when we continue our series on Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. We'll be moving on to the B series from the last few years. Thanks, and see you Wednesday. Thank you for joining us on yet another hunt for great bourbon. Please give us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening. But if you can't, leave some constructive criticism in the review so that we can get better at improving our show. Good reviews help us bring better guests on for your listening pleasure, not mine. But until then, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.